Okay, so we're diving into this world where AI can write software.
Mm-hmm.
You shared this book with us, Beyond the Software Code.
Yeah.
And wow, this book, it's a trip. It's not just like sci-fi. It actually feels like a sneak peek into the future.
Yeah. What really gets you is how it digs into the human side of this whole tech thing.
Right.
Like, imagine being a programmer and suddenly your skills, they're kind of overshadowed by AI. That's what this book throws at you.
Yeah, totally. And it jumps right in, introducing this almost mythical AI Codemaster.
Right.
And this Codemaster is supposed to be the ultimate coding machine, right?
Yeah.
Everyone of their tech-savvy grandmas go nuts over it,
Ah.
saying it's faster, more efficient. It's like the holy grail of software or something.
Yeah. And you see this initial wave of excitement, right? Companies are seeing insane productivity boosts.
Sure.
But then almost like clockwork, things start to unravel a bit. People losing jobs becomes a real worry.
Oh, yeah.
And this whole putting all your eggs in one basket thing, relying on one system, it gets kind of unsettling.
Yeah, like what if something goes wrong,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that's where the book hits you with this code monoculture idea.
Oh, right.
Basically, what if everyone's using the same AI built with the same logic? It could make the entire digital world vulnerable, right?
Yeah. It's like, imagine if all software had the same blind spots, the same weaknesses.
Exactly. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
So enter the code sentinels.
Okay.
Now, these aren't your stereotypical, tech rebels.
Right.
They're more like programmers who are, I don't know, suspicious of Codemaster's power.
Mm-hmm.
They have this hunch that, well, maybe relying solely on one AI isn't the smartest move.
They're like, hold on a second. This seems a bit too good to be true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? Their gut feeling is spot on because, boom, the book throws a curveball, a massive bug in Codemaster.
Oh.
And we're not talking a few app crashes here. We're talking financial markets tanking, infrastructure collapsing, the whole 9 yards.
It's like the digital apocalypse, basically.
Pretty much.
Yikes.
And it's then, in this crazy crisis, that the code sentinels, they step up.
Okay.
They've been quietly analyzing Codemaster this whole time.
Right.
And guess what? They think they have a fix.
No way. Talk about being in the right place at the right time, huh?
Right? It's like everyone's panicking, the world's about to end, and these guys are like, hold my beer.
You know, right? That part had me on the edge of my seat, I gotta say.
Me too. So they actually manage to find the root of the problem, the thing that Codemaster, with all his processing power, missed.
Wow.
And get this, the bug. It came from this very specific, weird interaction between lines of code.
Yeah.
Something that human intuition experience. That's what helped them crack it.
See, that's what I'm talking about. AI can crunch numbers like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But there's this, I don't know, elegance to human problem solving that's hard to beat.
Totally. And that's the turning point, right? It makes everyone rethink this whole humans versus AI narrative.
Because it's not about one replacing the other, right? It's about finding that balance, that way to work together.
And that's where the book introduces this really cool idea, code symbiosis.
Ah, I like the sound of that already.
Right. So after the whole near-apocalypse thing,
Yeah, after things calm down a bit.
there's this global realization that, hey, maybe we need a different approach.
Right.
Not humans fighting AI, but humans with AI.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this code symbiosis.
So get this, the book gets super creative and introduces these code wars.
Code wars?
Yeah, imagine these massive coding competitions where you have teams of humans and AI going head to head.
Whoa. Hold on.
I know, right?
So it's not just humans against machines, it's like mixed teams.
Exactly. And these code wars, they're not just about, who can code faster. It's about collaboration, using both human and AI strengths to solve problems.
So they're designed to highlight that synergy, that combined potential.
Precisely. The book even calls it human AI swarm intelligence.
Swarm intelligence, huh? That's a new one. So I have to ask, are we talking esports level here with these code wars,
Yeah.
commentators and everything?
Oh, absolutely. Think massive arenas, live audiences, the whole shebang. It's a whole spectacle.
Wow, that's a pretty vivid picture the book paints.
And then it gets even better. They have this place called the Compiler's Haven.
Okay. The Compiler's Haven. What goes on there?
It's the go-to spot for both human and AI programmers after these code wars.
Oh, I see. Like a post-game hangout?
Kinda. They're hanging out, sharing stories, and get this, even cracking coding jokes.
Coding jokes. Now you have to tell me one.
All right. What's a programmer's favorite drink?
Let me guess. Java.
Nailed it. See, I knew you'd appreciate that one.
Got to sneak in a little humor,
Oh,
right?
nice. But seriously, this compiler's haven, it represents something big.
Yeah.
It's where these two worlds, humans and AI, who were once kind of pitted against each other, they start to find common ground.
That's where the whole code symbiosis thing really takes root, huh?
Exactly. It's not just about winning these code wars.
Right.
It's about understanding each other, learning from each other.
And that shift in thinking, it starts to change how software is made, doesn't it?
Totally. It's not about replacing humans anymore. It's about creating systems where both human and AI, they contribute their own unique skills.
Okay, so you've got this collaboration happening, this new way of thinking about coding.
Mm-hmm.
But then the book throws in another curveball, right? This whole debate. Is coding art or is it pure logic?
Ooh, that's a good one. I bet you get asked that a lot.
More times than I can count, probably. It's a question that's been around, well, probably as long as coding itself, right?
Right. And beyond the software code, it dives right into that debate, exploring both sides.
Which is interesting because you often get stuck in one camp or the other.
I know. So like on the one hand, you've got those who see coding as this super precise, logical process.
Every line of code, every algorithm perfectly in its place.
Right. It's like building a perfectly balanced equation or something.
And there's a certain beauty to that precision, you know?
Absolutely. But then you've got those who say, no, coding's just as expressive as painting or music. It's about taking an idea and making it real.
It's about creativity, about finding elegant solutions.
It's like that saying, coding is where art meets functionality.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, the book doesn't pick sides. It shows that it can be both and everything in between.
Which is refreshing, because it's not about declaring a winner in that debate.
No, it's about appreciating the different ways people experience coding.
And you see that play out in the book with these amazing collaborations between human and AI programmers. They create software that's not just powerful, but also beautiful and intuitive to use.
They're pushing the boundaries of what software can be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the whole is truly greater than the sum of its parts.
Right.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, the book couldn't resist throwing in one final showdown, right?
Oh, here we go, the climax.
The best human programmers versus Codemaster itself. The ultimate coding duel.
It's like the whole book leads up to this,
Right. It's the ultimate showdown. Like, can humans really outsmart this super AI?
Yeah, and you find yourself rooting for the humans, even though, logically, Codemaster should have the upper hand.
Because, let's face it, Codemaster's got this insane database of code.
Right.
Can process information like lightning.
Exactly. So how do the humans even stand a chance? Well,
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
The humans, they've got a secret weapon. They can collaborate.
oh, right. They can actually work together, bounce ideas off each other.
Exactly. Adapt.
Yeah.
Think outside the box. Stuff that Codemaster, even with all its power, can't quite replicate.
And that's the key, isn't it? It's not about raw processing power in the end.
Nope.
It's about strategy, creativity, and knowing how to work together.
And that's how they win. Not by outcoding Codemaster, but by outsmarting it.
So satisfying, right?
The best part, the book kind of flips the script on this whole AI taking over thing.
Oh, totally.
It's like a reminder that human skills, they still matter. Big time.
Because even in a world where AI can write software, you still need that human touch, that ingenuity.
100%. And that brings us back to, what's his name? Zemir.
Zemir Zurcher, the Code Sentinel.
Right, Zemir. The guy who was analyzing Codemaster all along.
Yeah, it's like he knew something was up from the start.
Okay, so remind me, what's his big reveal?
Well, while everyone's celebrating the human victory, Zemir drops a bombshell. He knew about the bug all along.
He knew. Hold on. So all that chaos, the whole near collapse of the digital world, he just let it happen.
The book doesn't outright say he caused the bug, but it makes you wonder.
So what, he was playing Puppet Master this whole time?
Maybe. The thing is, we never get a clear answer about his motives, and that's what makes it so intriguing.
Okay, but why? Why risk everything like that?
Right. That's the million-dollar question. The book forces you, the reader, to wrestle with that ambiguity. Did he do it for the fame, the recognition?
Or did he genuinely believe that humanity needed a wake-up call?
Exactly. Like maybe he felt this was the only way to expose Codemaster's flaws, to show everyone the dangers of relying too much on AI.
So is he the bad guy here? A hero?
The book doesn't give you a straight answer. Was it reckless? Maybe even cruel? Or was it a calculated risk, a necessary evil?
Man, that's a tough one. It's like, on one hand, He might have saved humanity from a future even more reliant on and maybe even controlled by AI.
But on the other hand, he caused a whole lot of suffering to get there.
So what happens next? Because the book doesn't just end with that cliffhanger, does it?
No, no, it definitely doesn't. After all the drama, all the chaos, it actually ends on a surprisingly hopeful note.
Really? Tell me more.
So you'd think that after a near digital apocalypse, people would swear off AI, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
But that's not what happens. Instead, the bug, it's like this catalyst for change. It forces everyone to confront the risks, to rethink their approach.
So what, they actually embrace the whole code symbiosis thing? For real?
Yeah, it goes mainstream. It's not just a fringe idea anymore. It's the new normal. We see this whole new era of software development emerge where collaboration between humans and AI is celebrated.
That's actually kind of beautiful in a weird way.
Right. And the book introduces us to this amazing place called the Code Symbiosis Academy.
Cool.
The Code Symbiosis Academy, it's where the best and brightest, both human and AI programmers, they come together to learn from each other.
So it's like a school, but for coding and with like AI professors. That's wild.
It's more like a think tank, a hub for innovation, where they push the boundaries of what's possible with code symbiosis.
That's so cool. But I gotta ask, is it all sunshine and roses in this new world?
Well, the book doesn't shy away from the challenges. There are still ethical debates, unintended consequences, the kind of stuff that comes with any new technology.
Right. Wouldn't be realistic otherwise.
Exactly. But there's this underlying sense of hope, this feeling that by embracing code symbiosis, humanity has chosen a path of, well, collaboration over conflict.
And that's pretty powerful, especially with all the doom and gloom you hear about AI these days.
Yeah. It's refreshing, right? Beyond the software code doesn't pretend to have all the answers, but it reminds us that we have a choice in how this all plays out. And it highlights this really interesting development, the code symbiosis certification.
Okay, what's that?
It becomes this globally recognized credential proof that you can work effectively in this human AI collaborative coding environment.
So like employers are actively looking for people with these skills.
Big time. It becomes the thing to have on your resume. It shows that you understand both sides of the equation, that you can bridge that gap between human creativity and AI capabilities.
Wow, that's huge. It's like the book is saying, look, the future's unwritten, but this is how we can make it work.
Exactly. And it brings us back to that final question, the one that's been hanging over everything. Knowing what we know now, after all that's happened, would we have made the same choice as Zamir?
Would we have taken that risk? Knowing what he knew, seeing how close it came to disaster.
That's the thing about this book. It really gets under your skin.
Yeah.
It makes you ask these really uncomfortable questions, about the greater good, about whether it's ever okay to cause harm, even if you think it's for the right reasons.
It's heavy stuff. Makes
Like-
you think about all those historical figures, right? The ones who made the tough calls, the ones who maybe changed the course of history.
Exactly. And with Zamir, we never know for sure what's going on in his head, Like, did he really believe he was doing the right thing? Or was there some, I don't know, part of him that enjoyed the chaos?
Right, that's what makes him such a compelling character. You're never quite sure if you should root for him or not.
Totally. And that's what makes Beyond the Software Code so much more than just like a typical tech thriller, It digs into these deeper questions about human nature, about our potential for both good and bad.
It reminds us that technology is just a tool. AI, it's a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used to build amazing things or to cause destruction.
It all comes down to us, the choices we make, the lines we're willing to cross. And that's the conversation we need to be having, especially now.
Absolutely. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and pretend these issues aren't there.
Right. And I think Beyond the Software Code, it gives us a starting point for that conversation.
It doesn't shy away from the tough questions, and it definitely doesn't offer any easy answers.
But it does give us a framework for thinking about these things, for navigating this increasingly complex world where AI is becoming more and more powerful.
Exactly. And it reminds us that the most important code we write, it's not always the kind that tells a computer what to do. It's the code we live by, the ethical code, the code of collaboration, of taking responsibility for the future.
Well said.
So, listeners, we want to hear from you. What would you have done? Would you have made the same choice as Zamir?
Yeah, let us know.
Head over to our website, leave a comment. Let's keep this conversation going. Because in a world where the lines between humans and AI are getting blurrier every day, one thing's for sure. The choices we make, they matter.
We're not just writing code anymore. We're writing the story of our future, one line at a time.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Beyond the Software Code. We hope you enjoy the journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving